Test, 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 and we're good to go. Hey everybody, hope you guys are all having a good day during this horrible market day. We're going to get started with a whole bunch of news talking about both the stock market and definitely crypto market about what happened today. Loki's over here ready to jump on my shoulder any second now. Hello. Hello. Would you want a treat? Loki says hello as well. Loki says hello back to you, John. Yep. There we go. And then there's a nice little Snickers ad for you. Okay. So a lot of stuff happened over the last couple days. Yesterday we saw a little bit of a breakdown. Today we really saw that kind of expanded due to a whole bunch of factors. Right now there seems to be a few different pieces of news. We're going to go over all of them here in a second, but just a little bit of a recap of what happened today. Definitely one of those more eventful days. We haven't seen a day like this, and I know I'll get to the technical analysis side of this a little bit later, but even when I was telling you guys I was a little bit more worried about the oscillators and the momentum slowing, I did not see a move like this coming at all. I was thinking more of a slight breakdown and we would kind of go to something more gradual. Even when I was talking about the oscillators a while ago, you guys probably remember if you guys were there, I was not talking about anything like this. So this has come to a big surprise to me as well. So as far as the stock market today, the Dow, NASDAQ, S&P, all down today. The NASDAQ and the S&P, Dow, I wouldn't say it's catastrophic, but we're starting to see that trend shift just a little bit. Again, for the stock market, not something I'd be furiously freaking out about, but something where I'm starting to raise my eyebrow. Nothing has really changed as far as my opinion on that. I'm still thinking that we're in a nice upward trend. I'll go over the technicals here in a little bit, but you guys can clearly see this is off FinViz. Everything was pretty much down today. Doesn't look that pretty. The people on CNBC, Fox Business, they were all worrying about different stuff. And again, we're going to get to all that news here in a few seconds. As far as some of the big movers we saw, as far as some of that mega tech stuff, Google was actually up today. That was surprising. Meta down about 3%, Microsoft at about 1%, Apple 1.5%. Apple's having to do a payout thing here because they were allegedly slowing down iPhones by doing specific updates. So if you guys had an older iPhone, like I don't have the newest iPhone, they would put an update on it, and that update would start to cause the phone to have a worse battery life, basically, okay? So, Tesla's down almost 3%, Cisco's up a little bit because of earnings. We got a whole crazy world to deal with here today, but that's not really the focus of this. First of all, we're going to start off with Bitcoin. CNBC just put out an article a few minutes ago talking about Bitcoin abruptly tumbles as much as 9% to just over 26,000 late Thursday. I believe we actually dropped down below 26,000, but I'll go in a little bit deeper dive here in the next few minutes because we're going to be looking at a few different charts and kind of trying to learn something from this hindsight here because, oosh, it has definitely been a pretty bad day here. Okay. So the real reason, I think there's a few right now of just why this happened. I think if you guys were to go on any news website, this is going to be the big reason why. There's been some walking it back from some of the major Twitter people, but basically the fall of Bitcoin followed several hours after the Wall Street Journal reported that SpaceX, which is helmed by Elon Musk, wrote down the value of its Bitcoin holdings by a total of $373 million in 2022 and 2021, and that the space travel company had sold the virtual currency. That caused a lot of panic because a lot of people feel like Elon Musk is the guy that is really loading up on a lot of cryptocurrencies at this point. We've heard a whole bunch of news over the past few weeks about politicians. I think Trump has over $220 million in Ethereum or something like that. So seems like politicians themselves, or whatever you want to call them, have definitely been getting into the crypto movement over the past few years, I guess you could say. All right, but you saw a lot of sell-offs going on there, and again, we'll get back to the charts here. Going back over here very fast, though, this is just more of the stock news. We just saw a dip, everything coming over here. Walmart's earnings were not too good. I would say everything as far as the economy is still humming along, but again, we're getting more of those red flags. Some of the red flags we saw weren't even part of America. We saw China's, let me zoom in to this for you guys. China's Evergrande seeks Chapter 15 protection in Manhattan bankruptcy court. Notice how this was not in China, but in Manhattan. So we're already starting to see some of those commercial real estate holdings coming under fire. We know there was some type of chaos about to ensue when it comes to those, but it seems to be not hitting us just yet. Somehow it hit them really fast. Don't know why. I'm not a real estate specialist, but if any of you guys know about real estate or just why this might have happened, let me know. Sometimes you guys have go way more intensive in this stuff than I do because I only have so much time. So Basically, China Evergrande, the heavily indebted property developer, on Thursday filed for protection from creditors with the U.S. Bankruptcy Court in Manhattan. The filing under Chapter 15 of the United States Bankruptcy Code came after China Evergrande it's resolved to delay its meetings for the Hong Kong CEG Class A and Class C holders of debt to provide more time to consider a fresh restructuring plan, okay? So they're going to try to find a way to survive, but it's going to be very, very hard here, especially going through the American system. And, you know, sorry guys, we get like a whole bunch of pings. My family, as you guys know, is in Hawaii, so they're all sending me pictures and at the beach right now having a good time. I'm with Loki chilling out here, so I win. But basically, that was a big news story today as well. The other one that came from China that you guys might not have known about here is China has a couple more than a few shadow banks, but basically one of the shadow banks is called, I can't pronounce this, Zhongrong. Zhongrong's trust mispayments triggers fears among Chinese investors. So what ended up happening with all this is, right here, if I can go to the next one, people that have money here, they're starting to protest, okay? And so much protest that the cops had to get involved. So we're starting to see a major shadow bank in China miss payments. Now, this is not America, but as we all know, we live in a very globalistic world, so if something bad happens in China, it will affect our markets. We just heard rumbles earlier this week, or even late last week, about how Fitch, which just lowered the American credit rating to, I think, AA+, I think it was. Now they're considering lowering all the credit worthiness of all banks in America. That's also not a good sign. So there just seems to be this rumble of really bad news that could turn into a snowball that kind of, you know, grows and grows and grows and like explodes somehow. But it seems to be starting in China, not here. Okay, so I will still say American economy, we are still holding on just fine. But we're starting to see fires pop up all around us. Like, I think the Netherlands just went into recession, or somebody over there in Europe just went into recession. We're in this weird game, and we're just trying to push off all the flames, or at least blow them away, okay? And not to say, you know, what just happened in freaking Hawaii, which was a tragedy. Okay. I won't go too deep into this here, guys. But if you guys go over here to Twitter, it's been a few minutes since I've been over here. But if you want to look at more about Evergrande and kind of find some local stories, you guys are going to find some stuff there. There was a few more stories here about Bitcoin and stuff, but I think they went down because it's been a few minutes since all that craziness happened with Bitcoin. But as far as everything's concerned, let me just say hi to everybody here. Hey, Brady is double O Wolf. That's what I'm probably going to call you. Jonathan, hope you guys are doing good. Nicholas, Juan, Chris, PHX, Island Time. Happy to see you, Island Time. Zacher, GT, Chris, tax free. And hope you guys are all doing really well here. And oh, thank you for letting everybody know. I'll read that in a second, Zacher. All right, I was disconnected from the day. What happened? Okay, you're gonna read Zacher's print right here. But basically, a lot of markets came down. Crypto markets crashed. Big drops down. It could be a crash or a breakdown, whatever you want to call it. I call it breakdown, not cause panic. But stock market, fine. Okay, so we're just gonna go back over here for a second. Just look at Bitcoin's technicals. This is the Bitcoin chart from Coinbase's US dollar. Okay. I use this one when I'm trying to go back and a little bit more in time because the Binance one doesn't go back as far. So, you know, we could zoom out here and let me put the log on here. We can go all the way back over here to 2009, okay? You can't do that on the Binance one, just as a refresher for you guys. It only goes back all the way over here to like 2018. 2017 looks like. We want to go back in time just a little bit more here, just so we can see what we're talking about. So, I know we've been talking about this, and it seems like we are getting rejected off of this resistance level. Regardless if you guys on the monthly chart here have been using log on or log off, you can see there's this clear level of resistance here, and we've been hoping that we might even stay above the 20-month moving averages here. You guys know, every time I say this, I'm like, I don't put too much stock into it, the monthly moving averages, but they are levels of resistance, but usually you just don't trust that they're going to hold, or they're going to offer you a good support level or a good resistance level. You can see right here there wasn't much resistance. Over here a little bit of resistance, but really that was some moving averages there, of course. Okay, but you can see right now, just from a longer term trend, we have started this month breaking down. That's not good. We're trying to hold this 50-month moving average. Don't worry about it right now. What's more important, I would say, is just going over to the weekly chart and the daily charts. Still, you guys can see this level of resistance. This is one of those mega, this red line here, right here, mega Fibonacci extension levels going all the way back over here using this, the lows of 2018, the all-time highs, and then coming back down to the lows we experienced during the FTX crash. After you draw that on, you get a resistance level that's precisely or approximately around 32,328. All right. And depending on how you use it with log off or log off charts, we came close, we even broke above it for a little bit, but you can see that's a steady level of resistance for us. That's the big thing I want you guys to focus on here. Now, last time we talked before I went over to the AI summit and over in Seattle was that we were hoping that Bitcoin could find a way to break out and not break down, and we might have an opportunity to bounce off the 20. I told you guys again, I'm a little bit more iffy because of what we saw happen over here, and because we saw XRP and some of the other news we saw about ETFs and stuff like that all happen at once. We saw that big move really drive us forward, and that really messed up all the bearish technicals that were happening here. It looks like now, in hindsight, those bearish technicals really did come back up. I know we had talked about different oscillators here. Maybe I can just add some of these on here just for your sake, in case some of you guys weren't here like 2 weeks ago, when it was actually boring and nothing was happening. Can you guys see this clearly enough? I want to make sure. Style. Let's go to... I think you guys could see that just a little bit better when it's a little bit thicker. I was telling you guys about how we were starting to see this bearish divergence here, and maybe I should show you guys a little bit what's going on here though. Okay. If you guys don't know what a divergence is, I have a whole video explaining it, but we have higher highs over here, right? But we have lower highs over here, and we also had two crossovers there and there. Now, the crossovers were kind of iffy because the big news events all just wrecked any of the downward moves that were coming over here, but we still had that bearish divergence, and usually the divergence wins. I was hoping that we might have a news event. I think I talked about this on Monday because I didn't stream, I don't think, Tuesday and Wednesday. And boom, I was hoping, my hopes were just kind of shot down. But going forward, let me go over here to, well, all that, okay. Commodity channel index, and RSI. Let's just do a few more. I don't want to get this thing too cluttered here, guys. Okay. We got the CCI. The CCI came down a while ago, but we're kind of got a zone where I wouldn't really be buying too much just yet unless you guys are day trading. But we have come down quite a bit since some of those overbought levels there. Again, kind of giving us those warning signs. I know we talked about this a few times so far, but I think it's just a reminder that, man, sometimes when you have hope, just don't forget that some of the signals are not the best, I would say. And remember, this big drop thing just happened today. We were really talking about this move back down here, not all this crap that we're talking about now. And then, of course, RSI, which probably isn't really set up for a Bitcoin weekly chart, but this is like the basic setup that you get when you on TradingView. We did see that crossover happen back over here, right? Back in mid-July or so. But again, it's been like a month since that happened, so I don't think many of us were actually worried about it. And if you go over to the weekly chart, we never actually really got to those very overbought territories. But again, we did see some divergence right there. That wasn't all too good, and we saw a small crossover. I wouldn't really say that was a flashing warning sign at the time. Going over to the daily chart, though, that's where you can see a little bit more warnings. Over here, warnings right there. But again, it took a while for this to actually hit down, and it was a news-driven event all within itself. So just understand that, okay? Now I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff here. We're going to go back to the MACD because I still think the MACD is probably the easiest thing for you guys to use to kind of follow some of this momentum. And of course, this is also for weekly chart stuff now. There we go. That crossover that we had been talking about for a while, remember, that happened all the way over here, same time as all the other resistance talk, but we had a smaller crossover right here where things were looking a little bit brighter. And of course, the weekly chart beat the daily chart, and that bearish divergence really did kick our butts here. Or kick Bitcoin's butt, I guess, but still, mine too. So today, getting out of the MACD here, we've broken down below the 200 daily moving average, the 200 weekly moving average, and our next real level of support for Bitcoin, depending on how you're looking on it, really just happens to be right here around 24,770. At this point, since we have taken a pretty solid beating, I might just add for my sanity here, Fibonacci extension, and you could already see, this is the weekly chart, by the way. We've already broke down below this first Fibonacci level. That next one, it happens to be right around here, around 24,139. If you guys were looking for maybe more of a swing trading play, I might try to buy within this sweet spot here. It'd be right after we break down below this support level, and then you're hoping for a short-term bounce where now you're buying that potential bounce around here, but we're looking for another consolidation phase where something more like this happens, where we might have an opportunity to break out sometime in November, which is gonna suck because, you know, Bitcoin's been kind of fun in certain aspects over the past few months, but I think it's fair to realize that, hey, you know, one fun week there, maybe a week fun like there, maybe a fun week there, maybe. Most of it's been a lot of sideways moves, but we've had some fun trading within some of these channels. Let's just call it a simple channel, I guess you could say that. That's really what's been going on right now. And with this, we have an opportunity to, well, we haven't broken out of the channel just yet here, but again, we have found a little bit of a support level there. Just not too good, guys, right? Okay, let me go back over here to this one. I'm gonna do all this a little bit more. And I think for some of you guys that maybe have just started trading, you guys are like, what's happening in the simplest of terms? It's a simple breakdown. Be careful now, this upward trend is pretty much gone. And, you know, it might have been easier to kind of see this trend break down a while ago if we didn't have the FTX crash, but we did have the FTX crash, so no matter how you guys use your things over here, you know, we haven't broken down just yet on this one. To me, if you want to build a contrast from where Bitcoin is compared to the stock market, this weird, almost irrelevant, but still relevant trend line is really what I'm looking for next, besides this potential pop, because you can see how it aligns with that 50-week moving average that we just talked about. What does this remind you of? Let's go to the daily chart here. NASDAQ, it still has a while to go before it breaks down. But oh boy, is this uptrend getting very, very close. Let me go over here to the weekly chart. That's where all this line was, that's how this line was set up. We're getting closer. All of the experts on CNBC, I swear like 90% of them, are saying we're going to drop like 3, 4, 5%, and then we're going to make our way back up and everything's going to be just fine. Okay, so that means we need to be able to hold some of those support levels really up until about 14,400. We don't want to start falling down below that if you guys are big on the NASDAQ and things of that nature, okay? So if we do, it's going to be full steam ahead for puts and lots of opportunities to buy breakdowns or trade breakdowns on different stocks and securities. But same thing when it comes to the SPY. Oh, I forgot I changed some stuff up here. Oop. There we go. We're still pretty far away from that trend line as well. We're getting closer, but we actually haven't had that breakdown yet. I'm still going to stick to my guns here and say, hey, I'm still not going to be too concerned about the stock market until we start breaking down out of these trends. If you guys are looking for the shorter term trend, you guys do know that we have started to break down below this. And that's not the best of news, I guess you could say. But really, that big trend, if you guys are more longer term traders and you guys are trying to find those good opportunities to buy and just hold for a few weeks and the market kind of picks back up, you know, you're still within that golden zone here. Really, though, when it comes to tomorrow, we don't want to have another red day. That would signal that we're probably going to come back down, and that's going to be a buying attempt within sometime middle of next week. Sorry, guys. I paid a bunch of money for these things, and they still hurt my head. But yeah, so that's some of the challenges we're facing at this point in time. If you guys went over and you guys checked the daily charts of all this stuff, you guys can see, you know, we're at some levels of resistance, yada, yada, yada. Right there. Right on the edge. If you guys are looking at the overall health of the economy, I would still encourage you guys to start looking at some of your favorite stocks and just see what they're doing. You guys know I encourage you guys to find 10 to 15 different stocks and only trade those stocks. If you guys have been doing that, for those of you guys that trade as options and stocks and stuff like that, if you guys have been doing that, you've been noticing some really crazy stuff just over the past 2 weeks where that momentum has been shifting. Tesla broke down today. Okay? Tesla broke down, came back over to that Fibonacci level, and that's where it's currently sitting. Nvidia hasn't broken down, but you can see it's weird because it's got like a tasty news event, but not really a good news event, just something to kind of give it a little bit of hype, and it kind of bounced back up. But if we go back over here to the weekly chart, this is kind of more emblematic of SPY and the NASDAQ, which we've been talking about. We're really far away from that breakdown point. If you guys are looking for another opportunity here for like another uptrend, it might be something more like this, in which case we kind of did break down, but I mean, how ugly does that actually look to you guys? It looks pretty ugly to me. So I'm not too concerned about this, but I do expect us to come back down, at least test out that 20-week moving average. Microsoft, you're seeing that breakdown here. Maybe I can show you guys this, right? That breakdown's kind of imminent. Hopefully we can have a bounce, but if Microsoft's breaking down and Tesla's breaking down, but maybe Nvidia's going up, it's going to be the totality, like how much market cap is just flowing out versus how much money's flowing in versus flowing out. And it makes sense that if people are technical traders out there, like at Wall Street, they're going to start to try to short Tesla down as much as they can, unless we can have some type of crazy news events. But Tesla's earnings, was all the way back over here last month. Unless Tesla comes out with some good news, we're probably going to keep on going down there. We got Meta, depending on how you guys want to see each of these trends. This broke down out of this trend here a few weeks ago. But again, it's all depending on what trend lines you guys are looking for, right? We managed to, I guess we closed above at that time. We really didn't break down until mid-July, and then we've been going sideways. Not even breaking down, but the upward trend is over, and now we're going more sideways. I think that's what the feeling of the overall market right now. The upward trend is gone. Now we're going back into a more sideways feel. You could even extend it over to Bitcoin here, and I know that seems kind of weird, but again, we zoom out to the weekly chart. People may freak out. We're back at the level we were June 12th. That's where we came from. Or all the way back over here in March of 2023. We're back to that level. We haven't gone down, and people, I know people are freaking out today, but we haven't reached that level where we're like, oh my gosh, now we really are heading to a bear market. Now the economy really is going to go into free fall. Now we're really heading into a recession. We're not there, okay? I still maintain my very controversial opinion that we are going to go into a recession eventually. But I still, because, I call myself a trader. I trade, I do YouTube stuff, I teach stuff, right? But I would have to be honest and say, even though I believe there's going to be a recession oncoming, and not just a soft landing, but a pretty decent sized recession, I still have to say I'm a minority amongst all the people on Bloomberg, CNBC, Fox Business. I'm in the minority. Even amongst YouTubers, I'm in the minority. So just take my opinion there with a grain of salt. I still am very worried about a recession happening sometime, but right now I still don't see that panic sign for new lows as far as Bitcoin, new lows as far as the Dow coming back over here to what we saw back last October. I don't see anything like that. Just to kind of like calm your nerves a little bit. But I still see warning signs that, hey, let me just get out of this because there's so much shit here on here. You can see the Dow is also very close to a breakdown right here. Let's hope it doesn't come to it, but I think the Dow is looking a little bit nicer than other assets just because really you could use this look, and this could be good for like a longer term hindsight type of play where you do you buy shorts for a while. Hence Michael Burry's big play that got everybody freaked out about a few days ago when it was released that he made these trades a while ago. Really, Dow Jones, you're looking more at this one right here. This is something I'm more interested in. But going back to those MACDs, if you guys use any free tool on TradingView that's like a basic indicator, really, let's go right here. You might have to tweak it a little bit to make it more of your style. I'm a guy that likes to have longer moving averages or longer averages on my MACD. That way I see less crossovers. And when you do see a crossover, it just happens to be more impactful on you. But I'm going to stick with the basic ones for now. We actually haven't had that crossover here on the Dow Jones. And again, this is a weekly chart. Daily chart already had that crossover a few weeks ago. Okay, so just keep that in mind. NASDAQ, same thing, had that crossover a while ago, but we've been having that divergence, and I think that divergence is really what you guys should be paying attention to. But again, even though I'd been talking about the divergences and how I've been kind of worried about the market, I sort of didn't see this type of move coming. And I don't think it was just Elon Musk and SpaceX talking about how they sold Bitcoin or potentially sold Bitcoin. I think let me see if I can find this for you guys. I know I'm kind of hopping over different places, but I do think this is kind of an important day. Notifications, okay. Elon Musk. Okay, this is it. So, we saw a lot of people break this news a while ago, but now Watcher Group comes back a little bit later and says, we are unable to confirm reports that SpaceX sold $373 million worth of Bitcoin. The report by the Washington State Journal is unclear and states, SpaceX wrote down the value of Bitcoin it owns by a total of $373 million last year and in 2021 and has sold the cryptocurrency. As of now, there is no other evidence to confirm the reports. Okay? It still seems like they sold it, but now there's some ambiguity that makes people kind of worried about it, and we'll see what happens there. But all we got to do is go over here to Bitcoin, hop on over to a 1 minute chart. Let's hit that beautiful auto, and you can see what happened there. I know some of you guys were watching my Bitcoin stream because I saw the numbers spike on it. If you guys ever want to just use that what I have on the screen just for yourselves and not have to watch it on my screen, I have a couple tutorial videos on it, but all you're adding on to it is the Smart Money Concepts Indicator by Luxalgo. This one's free. There's a paid version which has a lot more cool stuff in it, but not everybody wants to pay for something. I get it. But go over here to the 4-hour chart. We saw that change of character right here. And I think the most important thing here, I'm not going to get rid of all the other stuff because I know it's going to be tedious for me to do, is, just do super trend. Keep on, there we go. And you saw the sell signal right here, so you had the two reds that signal that you guys should be selling in right there. Now, you can tweak the super trend to be a different number or a different equation here. Sometimes instead of the 10 and 3, I do the 50 and the 5.3 or 5.1. You can change that. It just kind of means there's less signals there. So if you do 50, 5.1, this is a high-low too, so it's using the high-low to do the formula. You can do close, low, whatever you guys want to. But, that didn't even really change the, yeah, it did change the equation here a little bit. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I'm actually going to get rid of the order blocks because they are just annoying. Be gone. Okay, there we go. You can see we had that sell signal right there, but if we use, it's going to be hard to find that good change of character here, because really, if you guys are doing the one on the screen, you're not going to have internal structure. You're just going to have swing structure. And if I do this, and show colored candles, it's going to look like this, where you can see sell, change of character. You might wait for that, and then the short plays out, but that's a pretty long-term short to wait for. But there still doesn't seem to be any good reason to buy at this point unless you guys are trying to find some of those moving averages, okay? And hey, Monica, thank you so much for messaging. I really appreciate it. Member for 1 year, thank you as always. It was SEC trying to appeal XRP verdict. I heard about that too. See, that one, I think that was just a cherry on the top type of effect where I don't think it had the most impact, but I do think it definitely had an impact. I should have propped up that story as well. I get most of my notifications from Twitter these days, so XRP case, well, that's actually, there we go. So this was basically SEC, a judge said that the SEC can try to appeal the groundbreaking XRP ruling. Judge rules of that's the way they say it there. But yeah, that was also the piece of news here. This one I'm not too concerned about personally because I just think it's going to be another victory for XRP. But this doesn't mean that this doesn't mean that if they bring it back up, a judge won't say no, I'm dismissing the case because we believe the first court got it right. Whatever, that stuff like that. This just means that the battle may continue, but again, I'm still more worried about the economy and some of this like flashy stuff that was going on here. But I get this is actually a pretty flashy thing all in itself. So let me get rid of this stuff here because I don't want to see it too much. And there we go. Now a couple tidbits of news before I answer some of you guys' questions for the day. What I'm actually going to do here is because go. All right, there we go. Before I start to answer some of your questions, I wanted to give a couple tidbits of news that's going on right now. The first big thing of news right now is the voting has all been done as far as the YouTube channel is concerned. I went over the numbers in the 1 hour Bitcoin stream went out. So tomorrow morning, you guys are going to see another Bitcoin stream here if I can find it. There we go. 1 hour had 50%. The next step was 4 hour, which is 32%, then 30 minute, then 2 hour. So the 1 hour one, you guys are going to see in a completely technical analysis codified chart. I know that's a weird word. Set up for you guys tomorrow morning. You guys can watch it. You guys don't have to watch it. It's perfectly fine. And then we can, I'll keep monitoring it like I do most of the other things here. Okay. But that's one tidbit of news. Another tidbit of news here is, I'm probably going to be streaming at all odd hours this week because of the next few days because of all the stuff that's going on in the market. So if you don't see me streaming at 6 o'clock, it's maybe because I streamed at like 10 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I might do a shorter stream the rest of the day. My preferred time is to stream sometime between 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock my time, Pacific Standard. but there are times where I am noticing what's happening and streaming. Today, I wasn't able to stream just because I'm watching my dog and my sister's cat here as my whole family went off to Hawaii without me, but with my blessing, I guess you could say, because I'm going on a few vacations by myself. I'm a loner vacationer, if that makes sense. I get to have more fun that way. But yeah, and so those are some of the things we've been talking about. One last thing, if this does appeal to you, I guess. I guess two more things here. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to remember all the stuff I had for you guys. I had a Google Docs page open, and I actually deleted it right before the stream because I was trying to put on the music. And yeah, so we'll get back to it later. Monthly chart, quickly here. Dollar index is making a move back up. That's not good for assets. That's more of a risk-off environment than a risk-on. You guys know that bonds are still incredibly high. All you got to do is go over to cnbc.com, go to markets, go to bonds, and you'll see that bonds are still giving you great yields. 1 month 5%, 2 months 5.4, 3 months 5.47. You know, bonds are still looking very good. I don't know if you guys can see these numbers. There you go. So if you guys buy a 1 month bond, you get a yield of 5.41%. That's up a little bit today, which basically means you get a 5.4% return divided by the number of months for the bond. So that's a 1 month divided by 12. You know, so you get the 1 month, and that's how much percentage you get to. But you're going to see a lot of banks right now because these bonds keep on going up. Hey, if I hold for 6 months, 5.52%, I'm going to get half of that basically, so it's 2%. You're going to be making some good money, especially as the market's kind of hitting this weird little teetering phase. So watch out for that. Last thing here, besides a little bit of oil. Oil's kind of bouncing around a little bit. China's kind of killing the oil rally. I think we're still going to break out over the next few months, but we'll wait to see. This is a monthly chart, by the way. Weekly chart looks like that. All right, waiting to see if it pops off or not. Last thing here is this. I was talking with some of the people that run Fairdesk, and I'm giving something to the members here, for those of you guys that support my channel. If you guys can, I'm going to do a members only, I'm going to do more members only videos, I should say, over the next few days. I have the ability, apparently, for the members to, if you guys are using Fairdesk, if you guys aren't, don't worry about it. I have the ability to change the amount of your fees when you guys are trading. So, or I can give you guys a rebate for your own fees. So what I'm going to do for you guys, because I didn't know I actually had this power, because it's one of those things you have to go into the back-end systems to kind of teeter around with it, I guess. If you guys give me your account number, basically like your UID number for your exchange on one of those videos, and just kind of give me a heads up, and then after I change it, I'll delete your UID number. What I'll do is I will actually change it so you get a 20% rebate. So if you spend, let's just say you went crazy today and did a whole bunch of trades, if you had $100 in fees, you would still pay $80 in fees, but $20 would be given back to you at the end of the day, which I think is pretty cool. So I've been able to talk with them, do that. Apparently you guys have been trading a lot on the platform, and they've, instead of giving me a bonus, basically I just asked, like, is there a way for me to like lower the fees? Because I think it's easier for you guys to trade, and if you guys are trading more and you guys are doing fine, then you guys are more likely to watch the channel, which I'm more concerned about than the actual sponsorship type of aspect of it, if that makes sense. So that's something else. Get ready for some more members videos. Yeah, that's about it. So if you guys have any questions, let loose. Let's talk about some stuff. There are things like Bitcoin that just went down a few percent, or like 5-6%, depending on how you're looking at it. And then there's other assets out there like they just kind of went kaploopy, depending on how you look on it, because there's been a few bad days for certain assets like this, GTC, really bad days. We can talk about all of them. I even think specifically Litecoin like shit the bed today, if I can find it. I don't talk about Litecoin too much, but one of my friends, Tom, he runs Tom Crown. He gets sponsored by them a lot, and I think he's gone to some of their events. So that's the only reason I actually ever listened to about Litecoin. But you can see that Litecoin, if I can get that back there, Litecoin is on the verge of breaking down, and this is something where I'm very concerned about this. You guys don't have to be. Again, point A, point B. On the daily chart, we have broken down. On the weekly chart, we have not. Kind of scary right here. This is something I'd watch because I know a lot of people like Litecoin. A lot of people trade Litecoin. Just be careful with it, because if Bitcoin could definitely just keep on plummeting down here later today. Like, it can just come all the way back down here. Maybe not break down below the support level like 25,180 that we kind of just got from today, but it can definitely decide to come back down here, okay? patiently waiting to see if we're able to get back above that 20 on the 15, which, as you guys know, we don't talk about this that much because we haven't had big major drops in Bitcoin in a while. Whenever we have that big move down, usually once we get above the 20 moving average, usually people get a lot more optimistic and they start buying up more here. And that's usually what I do. But just be careful because we haven't broken out above it just yet. We're still kind of looking at a very pessimistic chart. That drop is so big, the rest of the chart looks so meaningless compared to it, right? We like to see charts like this, and now we're looking at something like this, which just looks disgusting. What's right here? Everything was on sale for about 2 minutes. I definitely agree with you there. And hey, E-Trev, happy to see you back, man. Stack Bitcoin. I think a lot of people are definitely stacking Bitcoin today. Just remember, if you're stacking Bitcoin, you're holding that sucker for the long term at this point. And hey, Larry, TSL monthly call dividend is down to $13.50. Looks like it'll be below $10 soon. I would have to agree with you there. I mean, I think one of the things that's been interesting in the stock market is everybody was talking about Michael Burry, whatever his last name is, and how now it officially came out because you have to release the financials every now and again, that he put so much money on puts trying to short down the market. Well, it seems like he might start making money here pretty soon, but I still think he hasn't made a profit just yet. If he wants to make some good money, we're going to have to see the NASDAQ breakdown, the SPY breakdown, the Dow breakdown, and we haven't necessarily seen that just yet. And Loki's over here wagging his tail again. I think he wants another treat or something. Hey, here you go. Hey, boy. Come here. Can you say hello to people? Whoa. Nope. Okay, he just wanted a treat. He knows I'm much more treat giving when I'm in front of people. Otherwise, he only gets a few treats a day. Gotta keep him active and healthy, I guess. I just rented, well, not rented. I just built myself. I ordered a what do you call it? One of those sitting bikes. I got one of those in my garage now, and I'm starting to work out on it. So that's been pretty nice. But Loki's been bored out of his mind because it's not like I'm biking actually, and that he's running by me on the street. Okay, I heard Elon Musk sold his Bitcoin. It's not Elon Musk, it's SpaceX, and it's unconfirmed, but the Wall Street Journal reported it, but there's been no proof of it so far, so everybody's just kind of wondering what's going on. But to be honest, we haven't heard Elon Musk just come out and say, oh no, that's a lie, Wall Street Journal, how dare you say that? We actually haven't heard that. So there's a good chance that he sold some of it, or SpaceX sold some of it, and that's something, that will make news, right? That will be news. And hey, Alan Time, can I look at FSR, please? I sure can, my man. FSR. Fisker. Make sure I got that right. FSR, okay. I just want to check it on FinViz very fast, too. I actually got an energy drink, and I never drink energy drinks. Alright, there we go. There we go. Okay. Let's go monthly charts. Wow, this thing has not been healthy for a very long time. It had some hype, then it had a bunch of crashes back in the day, so it definitely is not a healthy stock, to say the least. Market cap is only $2 billion. Income is down $500 million. Wow, that's a pretty big loss here. Over the past few months, you've seen a lot of downgrades. Nothing too good there. Okay, so you have a company that's not producing results, and the stock price kind of seconds that approach here. And you've seen earlier this year, you saw, oh wow. So you saw a, looks like you saw a hedge fund kind of buy into this company quite a bit. And then, just a few months later, they sold everything, which is very confusing. I'm not entirely sure why they did this. You guys can, just my head's not blocking it. Yeah, okay. What do you call it? You can see in December and January of this year, they bought up millions and millions worth of assets here, millions of shares as well. But within a month, March, yeah, within a few weeks, they started selling everything off, and I'm not even sure how to read this information. It must just be when the SEC form came out or something. But this is something very interesting. And maybe they did just one gigantic trade. I would have to check this out here. 126, 126, 29. There's a bunch of stuff in here. Wow. Could P sell, okay. Okay, this is all weighted averages, that's fine. Yeah, they sold out of everything. That's a weird one there. Okay, maybe that just caused some volatility in here. Who knows? But all of that happened all within this. Oh yeah, you can see a little bit of March, April. Yeah, a lot of volatility here. This is a weekly chart. Okay, now going back to some of the technical analysis here. So far we have a nice bottom over here in April. Let me move that like that for you. Let's close this out so I can have a little bit more room to work with. Your basic look here is going to be adding a Fibonacci extension level. We got those highs over here. Ooh. Let's go back a little bit more. Let's do a little more of a hindsight test. Okay, there we go. So these are your current resistance levels that I would still be looking at until we kind of figure out if this is a bottom or not. Looks like we've been having some lower highs here for quite a bit of time. Now, that next level of resistance, if you want to play around with it a little bit, is going to be closer to 580. I'd really just kind of pop it up to where the 20 and 50-day moving averages are at this point. Going over to the weekly chart very fast. Really, if there's one thing you're going to focus on, you're still in the weirdest of uptrends, but it's still an uptrend. I would bet this thing's going to break down eventually. If you can find a way to buy this below 550, below 540, I would think it'd be a much better play to try to see if you can get a higher move here. You know, I'm guessing that some of the oscillators aren't going to be looking too good here, but let's take a peek just in case. Yeah, you're getting closer and closer to a crossover here. That's going to be some bad news for it. I wish they had a default of just making it thicker. It looks like you're due for a crossover here soon. Daily chart probably isn't too bad, to be honest. Yeah, that crossover happened a while ago. You're closer to a move up here, but I'd be taking it easy. Unless you wanted to dollar cost average into this, and if you did want to do that for some type of short-term play, because I don't know if you're going to be trading options on this, really your stop loss if you're buying at 564 is really just around here around 521. Hence why I would like to buy around like this 550 to 540 level over here. That's kind of where I'd be happy, and you can see how this could easily just end up right there sometime tomorrow. This is volatile, so if it does come back down to tomorrow, that's about a 4% move, but if I was to buy, that would in fact be it, especially since at least for the past few weeks, you do have something more of a decent grind down, even though it's kind of a volatile one. It's been kind of popping up a lot, then coming back down to previous support levels. That's better than just breaking down below support, and having those big volatile moves all be going down. Let me check out something very fast here, though. I'm going to have to go for the hour chart on this one. There's a lot of trickery, I would say, and manipulation that happens in the after hours and early pre-market hours on this particular stock. So I might be a little bit more hesitant to buy options on this, but I think if you have access to after hours and pre-market trading on TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, I think even Robinhood offers it now, but you have to pay for it. I would feel more comfortable doing that because you can just see you buy options here. It's just gonna kill you there. Well, there's no reason to buy right here. Everything was breaking down, right? But you saw that breakdown that occurred right there. That was occurring in pre-market hours. You might be able to snag some of this cheaper during the pre-market or the post-market hours, and that's what ends up coming back down to 530 or within that buying zone of like 550, 540, 530 level that we've been talking about. That's how I'd play it if you want to buy it. Otherwise, I would just wait for it to break down and boom, you got some puts that you can hold for a few more days and make some easy cash on them. But puts right now, just be careful because those during the day, it's really weird. During the after hours, things make a little bit more sense because everything's that's all the manipulation is happening, as weird as that sounds. Alright, back over here. I can't even stand to look at the Bitcoin chart because it all looks so bad right now based off of everything we've been talking about. Let's see. Can you check Stronghold Digital Mining? You gotta let me know what the ticker is and I'll check it out, but you just gotta let me know what the ticker is. One thing that I was gonna show you guys earlier, but again, I deleted it because I don't have enough tabs, is Coinbase, not Coinbase, Coin Market Cap. I reset all of my previous cookies and stuff like that, so it doesn't know what I'm searching for anymore. Apparently my computer feels a lot healthier though afterward. So, okay, just a little bit of a recap here. Last 24 hours, Bitcoin is down about 6.5%, almost 7%, 6.74%. All right, now Ethereum is down 5.92, BNB is down 5, XRP is down a whopping 14%. That is something that's gone up a lot over the previous weeks. ADA is down 6, Solana down 6, Dogecoin down 10, Tron only down 2.5, Polkadot 5, Polygon 8, Litecoin 12, Shiba Inu 11, and you know it goes on and on and on. The biggest winners so far have really been stablecoins, la-di-da. The biggest losers have been stuff like CFX, XRP, Litecoin, which you've already talked about, Bitcoin Cash, Compound. I was really rooting for Bitcoin Cash that was right up against some of those moving averages that, like, once it pops, it's glorious profits. But I just want to reiterate this to you guys. Oh, wrong one here. Yeah, okay, I was right. Bitcoin is still up 60% year to date. Ethereum is still up 40% year to date. BNB is down 10.5% year to date. XRP is up 50. Solana is up 118. So you're still seeing some momentum here with a lot of different currencies. Okay, so we're not in catastrophe land. Although today does feel like a minor catastrophe, right? See, and then Monica, yeah, I can look at XRP for you very fast, and I'll get over to OKC. And no worries, Valentine, I'm always happy to help you out. Let me know if you ever want me to go more in depth. XRP very fast. I really do have too many tickers on here. I need to put, there's XRP. I need to put XRP back at the top. Every now and again, this thing combobulates everything. There we go, XRP. Okay. Now it depends on how you want to look at it. I know we put this Fibonacci or retracement level back over here a long time ago, but since we did break down here, we did have the moving averages coming back down. You can see the crossover that happened right there. Now, am I going to be shorting this because we have a death cross here? No, because the move happened before the death cross, right? But you can see either way. You can say we're holding the Fibonacci retracement level, or we're just holding the 200 daily moving average. Me, I believe in moving averages quite a bit. You can see how we found some support there and some resistance over here back in the day. But this is going to be a strong point for if you believe that Bitcoin's going to be able to hold some of these levels over the next few days. This is going to be a sweet spot for you. To me, I'm still a bit more hesitant about buying into XRP because, let's go back here, over here. You can see how we're trying to hold this level kind of support after we broke down. There was no support here. We plummeted. Let's go over here to the minute chart. Again, no support. We really just plummeted. And once you break down below support, it just gets a little bit weaker, right? Just a little bit more weaker. I usually think of it as a bridge that you're trying to cross, and something happens and a little piece falls off. You're still going to walk over it, but it's just a little bit weaker. All right. Let me see. Can I even go back? How far can I go back on this? Let's go 1 second. This is going to take a minute here, so bear with me. Not even on the second chart was there a level of support here. It just kept falling and falling and falling. We're getting back up. There was some resistance here. A little bit of teeny amount of support there on the second chart, which, again, don't take this as seriously. But what do you call it? It's still been a bit of a hassle. We haven't been able to hold it consistently. So and already come back down a little bit too. I would say this is going to be your day trading type of coin, but I'd be careful if you're trying to hold into this for a while. Let me back up a little bit here. I've already had that breakdown. This one's been kind of weird because we've had that news. We're trying to hold support. I mean, there's so many support levels here. We're really trying to hold it. Probably why it bounced back up a little bit, Monica, why it did. But, I mean, before I say that, let me make sure that I did the weekly chart here. Let me make sure everything's pointed where it needs to be pointed on the daily chart. we're trying so hard not to break down here. So you do have a lot of support levels here saying, hey, this is a good buy zone. This is, if it wasn't for Bitcoin looking so bearish at this point in time, I would still say this is actually a decent opportunity to buy XRP because of the volatility here, though, and the fact that it did just drop, what, 30% in one day. I would say if you are going to buy here, have a nice tight stop loss, which means if you're buying around 50 cents, so to speak, you're going to have a 3 to 5% stop loss to give yourself some room to deal with some pain here, while hoping that just over the next few weeks we manage to get back over here and start dealing with some of these previous resistance levels that you've already had to do in the past, that big one being around 54 cents. So you got like a 4-cent win. You know, you're trying to make 4 cents on the dollar here, per the token, and then hopefully we don't continue to break down here. I'd really have that 4 to 5% stop loss, and that's even me being generous as far as how much you'd want to do, but I hate when the stop loss hits before it makes a big boom. So yeah, I would be very, very careful about this one. Now, as far as everything else, though, I think a good thing for you to do would be looking at the 4-hour chart. And again, maybe I should just leave this on the bottom and just kind of hide it over time. That might be the best thing for you to do. There we go. You can see we really haven't had too much of a momentum shift just yet. Maybe on the hourly chart it's looking a little, no, not even on the hourly chart it's looking not as great either. You might want to wait for momentum to shift a little bit. We've had momentum shift on the 15-minute, not on the hour, not on the 2-hour. And as far as we go up, it's not going to be shifting back anytime soon. But we haven't had that shift, that crossover, and I know we've talked about this a while ago. That MACD crossover was all the way over here back in like the end of July. It's been a minute, even the weekly one, right? That one's on the verge of happening right here. So just be careful with it. It definitely looks like we're going to have, well, this goes for a lot of different altcoins right now. We're going to have a lot of volatility going over the next few days as everybody tries to figure out, should I be buying a lot here? Should I be selling a lot here? What should I do? You're going to be seeing people buy, and the price is going to go up. Everybody that lost money over the past few days are going to sell for a little bit better margins and returns. Now, this is just to kind of help you out on a smaller thing as well. Divergence for many indicators. That's the weekly chart. We know all the divergences were here. We've talked about this extensively. If we can get some divergence happening on a 4-hour, 3-hour, 2-hour, whatever chart, that's going to be good. Don't worry about this two bullish divergences happening right here. The candle hasn't closed yet. We have another 22 hours until the candle closes. So really, 4-hour chart, haven't seen them just yet. 2-hour, you got something right here, a 1, not really a lot of confidence here, 15. You're not really seeing many divergences saying, wow, you should be buying this. You got one right here, it's working out a little bit right now. This one ended up working out a little bit as well, but honestly, if you were trading this one, you would have just waited for the breakdown to occur, and that would have been a little bit better. And if you guys are looking at it too, you can see, at least on the 15-minute chart, we have a change of character breakdown right there, which isn't going to be the best. So we're already seeing that trend move back down here. So that would give you an opportunity, though, to buy it a little bit closer to that support level, and then maybe your stop loss doesn't have to be around 5% or 4%. Maybe you can make it around 2 to 3% if you're lucky. I would still be okay with 4 to 5, but that's a little bit more risk than maybe some people want to take on, especially if you're using leverage. That 5% with a 10x leverage ends up being 50%. That could be a lot more brutal, right? Okay. Let's go back over here. And you were talking about making sure... Oh, and hey, Hiram, happy to see you back. SDIG, thank you so much, OKC, for finding that for me. Stronghold Digital Mining. Okay, so since this is a stock, I can actually go over here. I really am just getting rid of all of my good tabs when I don't need to. I should get rid of the news tabs and keep my FinViz tab open. There we go. Okay, and this one was going over here to SDIG. Oh, SDIG. Okay, let me just do that. Okie dokie. Definitely not doing good in the long term, so just be very careful going forward with this stock. Usually when you have a market that looks like this, it's not something you really want to be holding unless you're just really trying to hold on to it, anticipating that somehow Bitcoin going up in the future is going to be giving this thing a really big help down the road, right? And I think that's probably why you're looking into it. And that's a fine thing to do. People trade all types of stocks just like this because they're hoping for something good. But you can see a lot of sideways moves over the past few months, close to like 6-7 months at this point. 8 months, 9 months. Oh my gosh, time is flying by right now. Okay, going over here on the weekly chart, I wouldn't worry too much about the divergences because the divergences worked on this one, and I guess on that one too. But, you know, you're not trading off of that right now, so let me turn this off for you. Okay, let's get rid of all these little marks I have on the screen. Monthly chart, really, yeah. This one's been kind of tough. So you got a little bit of a support level kind of around $4. That's pretty far away from where you are now. You had a little bit of support, it looks like back over here around 717. You had that change of character break right there, or the break of structure, whatever you want to call it. And ever since then, again, we've been going down here bit by bit, causing a little bit more of a channel, it looks like that. If you're looking to buy into this, you could be buying a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, hoping that this bottom support level just kind of holds a little bit more for an opportunity for you to pivot back up. For me, because you can already see the momentum shifting back down slowly, I might be of the opinion that personally, I would be kind of afraid to be going in right now, or a little bit more worried about it. I might wait for a confirmed breakout here, right around there, and that breakout would really get me more confident about taking a position, because so far this thing is in a minor downtrend within this larger, if I can show you this, there you go, this larger channel right here that's just kind of going sideways and looking pretty miserable, right? A lot of sideways, a little bit of breakouts every now and again, but as soon as Bitcoin falls, the technicals of this don't really matter, do they? Because Bitcoin really controls everything. So, and plus even had earnings didn't look too good, so yeah, that's something else there as well. Now, one of the good things I'll say for this right now is a lot of times when you see stocks like this that have been coming down for a while, they might be closer to the dollar range. There is no worry about this hitting $1 anytime soon, and it doesn't look like there's any, because of that, there's no worry of you having to deal with a surprise split on the assets to kind of bring it back above $1. So you're not worried about that. If that does occur in the future, I would just stay away from this thing for the rest of its existence. But until that happens, oh wait, split. It did have a split. I'd be very careful about this one. Now, yeah. Any more splits since then? Nope. Okay, it's only had a one. I would still be very, very careful about it. But again, going back to it, you're pretty close to your first buying level if you want to take it. Not just, we know it's that channel that we were just talking about, but on top of that, there should be a Fibonacci retracement level right around there. Yeah, right around here. So kind of heading to the bottom of that trend line there. And then if you wanted to, the heck is going on? There you go. Hold on a second, guys. If there's a dog hair in my mouse laser, it will screw up my mouse quite a bit. Okay. Or, excuse me, if you wanted to buy down a little bit lower, you're basically waiting for us to get all the way back down here to these levels of $4.60, $4.30, $4. You know, I would just wait for that breakout here and then ride the wave. Because at this point, what are you waiting for? You're waiting for Bitcoin to make that big move, and Bitcoin at this point again, it can go either way at this juncture. And just one quick thing here. Just want to check how did it do after hours. Yeah, after hours it's still moving down here, so you're getting closer and closer to that support zone if you want to buy. I'd rather not try to buy the bottom, but try to break the breakout after I've seen momentum shift, and then I can be much more happy about where we're going. MACDs and stuff usually aren't the best for stuff like this because they're not really following their own technicals, they're following Bitcoin's technicals. So if you trade something like this, again, and you have the MACD on there, which I already have a MACD, yes sirree, you're going to be looking for, hey, I want that big crossover to occur. It's going to be hard to see that crossover because you can see how the momentum is just kind of broken on this. It's a newer stock relative to a lot of other ones, and it had that split, which makes it even kind of more weird. Daily chart. All right, daily MACDs. This might be your lifeblood for this one. Okay. Crossover here. Sell signal. What do you know? It worked. Buy signal right here. Oh, what do you know? It worked. Sell signal right there. Oh, what do you know? It worked. Sometimes MACDs can just be the easiest thing. Again, we did have a split, so that's going to make it a little more difficult. But if you're looking for that big move up, maybe you just want to follow the MACDs. The good thing is I don't see much divergence here. You can see we have lower highs here and we have lower highs right here. That's something good. If we were seeing higher highs over here and lower highs over here, I might be a little bit more concerned. But things are looking okay. I would give it more time. I'm more of the belief that, hey, not just buy when the MACD's kind of having that crossover, but find a way to make some money off of a potential breakout here. That's more of my feeling on this one right here. Just be careful because, excuse me guys, geez, the more I talk, the more I burp. Bitcoin is in a precarious spot right now. And, you know, a lot of times we talk about Bitcoin and we're like, hey, oh, I got rid of the MACD. I talk about, hey, you know, watch the trend line, watch the breakdown. Well, this is the first week of the breakdown. Breakdowns usually take quite a bit of time to stabilize, find a support level, break out again, and make us all happy. We're at the beginning stages of that. So just be careful, because the only thing that's going to stop us from going down over the next few weeks now is going to be a major news event, which could happen, but, you know, you just got to be careful, because major news events can direct you no matter which way you're going. Okay, I'll go back over here to the 50-minute chart. Go back over here, and now we're chilling out a little bit more here. And okay, you already said hey Haram, but hey Haram again. Hey Lois Kutcher. Graham Stephan fired one of his employees since marriage changes everything. Now his YouTube viewership tank got 90% since he doesn't post YouTube regular videos anymore. Graham Stephan. I don't really follow him too much. I know he's the big real estate guy, but I can go over here to Social Blade. I don't even have Social Blade anymore because, gosh darn it. See, when you reset all of your history, it messes up everything. Graham Stephan? Oh, did I not get his name right? Oh. Graham Stephan. There you go. No, really? Okay, well, let me just find his YouTube channel. I gotta use his @
What?
Let's see, his channel still seems to be doing fine. @ Graham Stephan. Did I really just have to do the @? There we go. There you go. He's still getting 10K viewers every few days, so he's getting, you know, thousands of new subscribers a day. His views, they're doing relatively well. He's still doing well. His channel's still doing very, very well here. How can I watch his channel? There we go.
What?
4 videos here. He still seems fine. Oh, he's moving back to California, the poor guy. Jeez. But yeah, looks like he's doing just fine. Yeah, seems like there's a lot of stuff about YouTubers these days. Because, like, I follow a lot of my friends on here. Like, here's mine. Oh, I don't know if it's actually to show mine, because I don't have my thing. Michael Whitman. There we go, yeah. So you can see mine. My numbers are pretty consistent. I get like 100 subscribers a day, but my views have been pretty steady for a while here. It's around $300,000, $250,000 a month. You got my friend Tom Crown. He's awesome. He gets about 192, 60,000, 100,000, $150,000 views a month. Even, I think, what's the other guy? Jordan Cameron. I haven't heard much from Jordan over the past few weeks, but I know he's still going live and stuff like that. Oh, he's losing subscribers. What the heck happened to him? I know some of you guys watch Jordan's channel. Anybody know what happened to his channel? Because normally, I guess some crypto people lose viewers every now and again. But I wonder what happened, because he's only getting like 154 views this day, only a few thousand views. That's kind of strange for him. He's a pretty rowdy guy. Huh. But he gets about 90,000 to 120,000 views a month. So most crypto people are usually pretty healthy. Now, is it going to be as much as we saw, I guess we're not back in 2020 anymore. During the bull market days? No. But most crypto people are doing okay. I have a vidIQ account. I don't pay for it because I don't really feel like it really adds much value. But when you're talking about other YouTubers and stuff, something that you can do is you can kind of have a little bit of a compare chart. Now, if I paid for it, I can probably compare myself to more people, but again, it's not worth it. I pay for enough stuff these days. But but you can see that views, the person that has the best views right now is Crypto Mason. He has another YouTube channel. Then you got me. Then you got Crypto Jargon. There's Tom over there. Subscribers. I got the most subscribers growth so far. That's pretty nice. Public videos. I'm putting out more videos. That definitely is the reason why. Average daily views. It's kind of Crypto Mason. Then it's me. And then you got Crypto Jargon over here. What happened to Tom? I gotta talk to Tom. I was just talking to him today, but something completely different than crypto stuff. Average subscribers, yeah, and average videos per day, yeah. I'm just pumping out more content here, but it seems like, you know, people are doing okay relative. You know, Crypto Jargon's putting out videos a lot. I need to put out more videos. Oh my god. But yeah, what do you call? Seems like things are going okay at this point in time. Something cool that I want you guys to know about here is I did hire an official editor. That's something I've been dealing with for the past few days until like an actual hire. So I'm working with him now. Because what I've learned from working with editors in the past is, and you guys might understand this, when you guys watch a trading strategy video, the editor highlights very important things that somebody that has to understand if they're trying to learn the subject matter. Well, it turns out that the majority of editors don't know anything about trading, so I'm going to have to teach him what I'm talking about. So when I say something on the screen and I write notes about it, he understands, oh, when he's talking about a MACD crossover, he's talking about this specific thing on the chart. So that's going to be taking up a little of my time at first, but I think he's going to do a very good job, and he has some really solid editing skills as well. So you guys are going to see some you guys are going to see some more tutorial videos, but they're going to be more of the style of Trading Geek, Mulham Trading, Pine Street, some of the ones that some of you guys watch me on. If I go over here to my YouTube channel, let's open this over here. Let's go to analytics, audience. Did I break it? Okay. I can show you guys what, you know, this is like what you guys tend to watch. So there's Bitcoin Live over here, Million Moves, Pine Trades, Switch Stats, Target Hit. It's going to be more like some of these channels here. I would say it's going to be more like Smart Risk and Trade Hero, and they have some good content there, Stock Accurate. My job though is not to make it so much as a flashy thing, where there is going to be some flash in the first 1 minute. I would say a lot of flash in the first 1 minute. After that, it's complementing editing, which says, hey, I'm talking about the MACD crossover. If I say it and there's no points like, hey, this is the MACD crossover, maybe sometimes that can be a little bit more confusing to people. So I am going to be having the editor do that, which will be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. And right now you can see Bitcoin looking to get back above that 20 moving average here on the 50-minute chart. That makes me a little bit happier. Oh, but I zoomed in so much. I zoomed in a lot on you guys' comments. There we go. Okay. Oh, let's see. SGG, yeah, or thanks for letting me know. Say, because when I was first looking at it, I was like, oh, maybe that is a split. Oh, that definitely was a split. I know it's here. Hey, Rogelio, happy to see you back. Hey, Matt, can you please check PNR Pentair? The CEO just sold millions of shares that my portfolio. Okay, so you work for them. Your CEO sold off millions of dollars worth of shares, and because of that, the stock fell from a surplus of supply, and supply demand metric was off a little bit. Okay. Yes, I can definitely look at that very fast. So there's two things really we have to look at here. So there's the stock. Okay. Your CEO sold his assets at the proper time. Okay. Now, I don't know if yours are locked in or if you are unable to sell them, but you can see just from this chart very fast, and I'll go into the other chart here pretty soon. You can see you've had a rally over the past 6-7 months, and it's been a very good rally, going all the way up from $40 to $70. That's huge. If I was a CEO and I was looking for a good place to sell my assets, I would do that as well. Now, we go over here. We can probably find out who this little bastard is. So it's going to be Staunch John L., President and CEO. He sold them back in August 7th, so not too long ago. These damn ads on Finviz, they're just all, there's like multiple ads. There we go. All right. Now, oh, it's because the ad blocker is turned off for this, because if I don't turn off the ad blocker, I don't get to use the website. Okay, but he sold $2.3 million worth of shares at an average of 71.42. Look at that. Oh, let me go over here. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Sold. For heaven's sakes, let me just get that extra penny. There we go. He sold it right there, as close to the top as you could get. So he himself, because of the move, has really ended this rally here. And what I'm talking about here is you can see how we've had this uptrend going on. Right, the uptrend is over. We're now breaking down, and now we're heading into something more of a consolidation phase or a downtrend, but we're no longer in this uptrend. Okay, that's not pleasant. Now, depending on how your corporate assets are kind of given to you, you might not have the ability to sell them right now. You might have the ability to sell them in like years, months, days, whatever. You're still at a good place if you want to sell them at this point in time. It's really up to you and how much money you want versus how much you believe in the company. It's stuff like that. But from an executive standpoint, and while I've never been an executive, I have been a marketing director, a marketing manager, and I have been inside boardrooms, and I do know some executives, not for the big companies like Tesla and Microsoft, but for, you know, the companies that nobody really knows about, but they still have a bunch of money. It was probably a really smart place to start selling off his assets. I probably believe he didn't even know he was going to sell them. I believe his financial advisor said, hey, this is a good point to sell at this point in time. We've had some rumbles in the overall market. We're starting to see some things look calling for a pullback, and this is going to be your best bet for getting the most money for you, right? As far as I'm concerned, it's still going up. You know, if you, let me go to weekly chart, it'll kind of show you a little bit more data here. So you're still in an uptrend here, right? So it's still a healthy move up, but it's really up to what you want to do going forward with it, because when you get, you know, this part of your compensation package and you get assets from the company, each compensation package has different rules. Maybe you unlock a few hundred options here, a few hundred options here, a few thousand options here, you know what I mean? But you might not be able to exercise them and sell them for quite a bit of time. But, point out here, you're still in that beautiful uptrend. Once you start breaking down from that, that's more of the concern. But your CEO definitely found a very, very close top here, which is pretty darn concerning, but it hasn't been back at these levels all the way since it looks like 2021, so it's gotten very, very close to that. Now, again, you've seen this before, like over there. I don't know if the CEO caused this one. This is back in January of 2023. December, nope, nothing happened in January. Geez, excuse me. But it's not uncommon for it to have a breakdown, then continue to rally on another longer term uptrend. Again, but I don't know how your compensation package is. I don't recommend you kind of just share everything on YouTube. But you know, it's still in a good space, the asset. If you want to take profit just like the millionaires do, just like your bosses do, I wouldn't be opposed to just following him and say, oh, he's selling, I better sell too. You know, if your boss says, what do you want to sell? Well, hey, the head honcho just sold. What does he know that I don't know? You know, but that's if you actually have the legal ability to sell based off of your own compensation package. Hopefully you have a financial advisor to help you with some of this stuff as well, because when it comes to corporate options and stocks and stuff like that, and you know, bonuses and things like that, it's better to have like a professional guy that's like looking out for you in your corner. But you usually have to have an account with like an old school firm like a Vanguard or something like that. I'm a big Vanguard guy myself, but that's because I know a lot of people that used to work at Vanguard. Even my friend's fiance's family, or friend's wife's family, all works in Vanguard, so I trust them a lot. Or Goldman Sachs. Also, although I'd say Goldman Sachs is a little bit more stingy than Vanguard. They're all stingy. What am I talking about? But yeah, so it's pretty nice though. See, and hey, Matt, so you have the ability to sell them next year? I mean, then you're just gonna have to hope the market stays strong during that point in time. Let me check the overall health. Are you making money? You got cash flow. You got cash flow. Small market cap. You're probably, if the market's in a recession next year for whatever reason, you're probably not going to want to sell your assets at a really bad price. You're probably going to want to wait for the market to turn around and it to get back above the $50 or $60 level before you actually start to sell those assets. But that, again, next year, a whole bunch of stuff could happen before then. Well, now, right today, we're dealing with a whole bunch of chaos coming out of China. They're not even giving us all of their economic data because they're so embarrassed about it, right? Their youth unemployment must be like through the roof because they're not even sharing it with us. Loki says hello. He's like breathing on me over here very heavily. Let's see. Halo Scratcher, Bitcoin Live is a scam. I haven't heard anything about Bitcoin Live being a scam. I've talked to the guy that runs the channel a lot, Bitcoin Live. Let me just go over here. Let me just go over here. Looks like he has 25,000 subscribers. Yeah, it looks like he just has this one channel here. I don't know much about it. Do you have any other shorts videos? Not really. Nope, he just runs a lot of streams. I mean, just like I do. Nothing wrong with it. I can't play his stream because I might get banned or something from YouTube. Who knows? But it looks like he has the #1 Bitcoin stream on YouTube because his whole channel is built around Bitcoin. It makes it very hard to do anything else. I've talked to the guy before, not in person, but online. I don't think he puts his face on any of this stuff. I think he just runs a stream and he tries to find a way to make money off of it. I'm sure, just like I do, he has some type of partnership with an exchange, and he might get paid based off of maybe how many signups he gets or how much trading volume or something like that, or maybe just for the banner or something, or a link on the channel. There's different types of payment plans, I guess, that for exchanges. But I don't know anything about Bitcoin Live being a scam. I so far I don't think anything's bad. And hey, Haram, Mike, I know you talked about the stock. I just wanted to ask what you do think about SPY. Do you think we're heading down the trend to test it? NVIDIA earnings next week too. Okay, so before we go into SPY technical analysis there, NVIDIA has been the weirdest thing, and this goes for a lot of different tech stocks. They're not making more money. As far as like we've seen so far over the last like couple quarters, their revenue is like not like shooting up or anything. People are buying because, again, you're thinking in the future, you're thinking that they're going to be making so much money based off of all the necessary chips for AI and this huge revolution. I just went to an AI summit yesterday, and boy, I talked to some of the computer engineers or the computer science major guys, and they were like, yeah, there needs to be a lot of processing power behind all this because a lot of startups are getting kicked off. When you guys hear about new businesses and stuff like that are happening, most businesses that get VC venture capitalist funding, they're usually not the types of companies that are trying to sell you something. Usually they're not B2C, not business to consumer. They're B2B, so they're business serving another business. So they want to have a contract with Apple and Google and Microsoft because the money just flows from those companies like endless gold, right? So that's what they're hoping for, a lot of those new startups, but they're going to need a lot of chips from NVIDIA and stuff like that as my main point here. Now, as far as SPY is concerned here, and this kind of goes along with what we've been talking about as far as NVIDIA and Apple, we're starting to see some breakdowns. We're starting to see the oscillators kind of show us like, something bad's kind of happening here. And so let me just go for this first trend line right here. On the daily chart, Make sure this is perfectly done. It is all good to go. This really depends on how you want to see this. Just this is as close as possible. Jeez. We've either broken down today, which looks like we kind of just barely broke down, or we're on the verge of breaking down. Go over here to the 15-minute chart. It kind of looks like we broke down, but again, this chart's gonna look a little bit different than the daily chart here. If you put log off, excuse me, you'll see that, hey, we're kind of bouncing right off of that support level. Go back to the 4-hour chart here. Seems like we're still bouncing. Daily chart, still haven't broken down yet. And because even though the log on chart is a little bit more inconclusive based off of the different time frames, if you put log on, you can see, it seems like we're still above it. So tomorrow, specifically for SPY, you are, if you want to see it go up, you are really hoping we have a move up. Okay, at this point in time, I'm expecting a little bit more of a pullback than some of the people on CNBC and Fox Business and Bloomberg. They said this pullback was supposed to be like, 5-6%, 4-5-6%, and then it would be a good buying opportunity, and the market should keep on chugging along. So far, I mean, depending on when you're looking at it, as far as the SPY, remember this is a daily chart here. If you're going from the top to where we are now, it's been down about 5%, so that'd be the support level where if you trust the people on CNBC, Fox Business, Bloomberg, Yahoo Finance, whatever, you're buying this kind of dip right now and you're hoping for that big move. For me right now, before we start getting into some of the oscillators and other technicals and stuff like that, a few things are concerning to me. First, you see how the 20 and 50-day moving averages, we're getting close to a crossover here. This is not a doomsday type of thing for SPY, okay? Last crossover we had was right here. Market didn't do anything crazy because we were in a larger consolidation pattern right there. Last time happened over here, nothing crazy happened, okay? Over here, something bad happened, but this was back when inflation was very high. Inflation is not as high now, okay? So, in my opinion, we're still... I'm looking at it, but I'm not like hyperventilating over here in a brown plastic bag or something. But it's just kind of showing you, hey, momentum is kind of slowed down a little bit. You go back over here to the weekly chart, you're not even looking at any type of death cross occurring anytime soon. The momentum on the longer terms, as you can see, is still just going to the moon. Everything's doing okay. But you are seeing a pullback, and those pullbacks are reminiscent, like we haven't had a decent pullback since all the way back over here in February. Okay. Now, what I would say first of all is, actually, let's just stay on the weekly chart because that's going to make my life a lot easier, is, what's the best way to do this? Because I'm tired of putting the MACD and the OSI and all the stuff like that on it. Let's go over here. Let's open up a new layout, and let's have this called Aussie. It's not even going to be the right type of Aussie with the C's. It's just going to be called Aussie. We're going to get rid of the volume. Actually, it's going to bring the volume back on. And we're just going to do a preset one that's going to be oscillators. There we go. And I wish they would just make them thicker. Because, again, remember guys, for my streams, I zoom in. This is 150% zoom in. When I actually do stuff, it looks more like that. And so it looks a little bit different, I guess, for you guys. Let's go to 175. Let's hide this right over here. Okay. So, this is a daily chart for SPY. Okay. Stochastic RSI, we're oversold. This is a good buying opportunity according to this. The crossovers have been a little bit kind of confusing here, so technically I wouldn't try to go for that. Normally, if you want to change some of these numbers, I have a couple of videos on these, as you guys know. But if you guys just want a cheat sheet, just go over here to cool old ChatGPT, and this is just kind of a mid-learning lesson. Oh, they got extra stuff in here now. You could ask it, what are some numbers to use for the stochastic RSI if I want less volatility? And it's yes. I wish I could speed it up. K period, if you guys don't know this, I have a video on it. D period, yes. List out while it's listing out those 5 different combos, we're actually going to go back to the charts here. Okay. And I'll bring it back up here in a second. Okay, there we go. Okay, but you can see without the changes for the stochastic RSI, you can see you're oversold. There's kind of some bouncy, weird signals, so it's kind of inconclusive, but the majority is like, okay, it's okay, it's okay. Really, the weekly chart is what we're going to be focusing on here in a second. RSI, a little bit different than stochastic RSI, but the RSI is no longer overbought. Now we're getting closer to oversold, so this is almost another signal like, huh, this looks like almost like a buying opportunity right now, right? Going over here to the CCI, this has already gone down below the, what, 95 mark, 98 mark? Geez, yeah, so this is another thing like, whoa, we're kind of outside the bounds right now. And, oh, for some reason this doesn't have the MACD on top of it. Okay, well, that's my bad. MACD. Okay, let's add the MACD here as well. Well, we've already had the crossover a while ago, and I don't hope you guys can really see this, otherwise you guys are just hearing me say stuff and you're like, okay, I kind of understand what you're saying. We've already had the crossover, momentum is still accelerating. That's actually not a good sign right now. Now, let's flip it around to the weekly charts very fast. MACD, MACD is about to cross over on SPY for the weekly charts. That hasn't happened since way over here of March. Now, again, if we kind of zoom this up, it was okay. We survived. This was a very special type of thing, though, because if you guys remember, back in March, we had the banking crisis. So we really haven't had a natural, organic crossover. So we'll see how this really turns out. We go back over here. Last crossover is right over there then. And for that, let's max this out. Okay. We had a couple months of going down, basically. And that's what I'm still kind of thinking for the SPY. I'm not thinking catastrophe. I'm not thinking, oh my God, the world's ending. But I'm like, we could have a pullback. The major analysts are saying this is probably that spot, 5% down, 6% down, 4% down, kind of that middle zone. Maybe I'm more the realm of 10%, 11%, just because we've ran up so much. It's almost like, when you see something that ran up so much, it hasn't really had the time to build up concrete support levels, so it usually has more room to fall. But then once it hits those support levels, then you just really start buying in heavy. There might be some more volatility, but you wait a few weeks, and then all of a sudden we're back to the races. Because the economy, again, is not bad. What's happening right now is China's economy is bad, and like, what's happening over there? Europe's economy is getting, America's economy, it's still, but it's not as bad as the rest of the world right now, right? We've added so much stimulus to the economy where, we're doing okay, but the chicken's going to come home to roost later on. Remember, we had that Inflation Reduction Act. That pumped in a lot of money back into the economy, which is not good because it's going to cause inflation to be around for a while, and it's just not healthy for us to keep on spending and spending and spending, because eventually the chicken does come home to roost. We're going to have to figure out how to pay for it. We're not going to pay for it. It's going to be a horrendous thing. Forget about that for now. But you get my point, okay? Now, going back over here very fast. Breakouts in video. Okay. There we go. NVIDIA just had that crossover this week for going down, okay? You're still pretty hot on the CCI. RSI, you're still pretty hot on the RSI. Stochastic RSI, you're doing just fine right now, but the crossover was a few weeks ago, and you ended up having a little bit of a divergence here. Not the most crazy divergence, but you could consider it more of a hidden divergence. But the hidden divergence was just because it kept on going so hot, so fast. It just ran up against the top, and it was like, we can't keep going higher and higher. There's a lock on the stochastic, right? All right, now, going back over to the SPY here just very fast, because I know I'm spending a little bit more time on this one, but everybody wants to learn more about the SPY, right? One of the numbers that it gave me over here, this is why I love ChatGPT, it just keeps everything organized. Combination 1, a K period of 20, 5, 3, K period of 25, 30, 20, 25. Let's go combination 5 here. And that one is going to be exit, exit, exit. There we go. K, we're going to have, was that 25? D is going to be 7. There we go. And this one does not have a smoothing for some reason, which is always kind of weird. Sometimes they have different indicators here. RSI length. for now it'll be fine. Sometimes I might change this up to 25 or something like that, but since we're at 25, it'll be fine. There you go. You can see that stochastic crossover here for the SPY. That's not looking too healthy. Yeah, that crossover right here, you can see how it's a little bit more accurate now, just with some of those changes. Yeah, the crossover right here, and what happened? Kind of just went sideways, so it wasn't some pessimistic thing there. But I guess crossover right here, that ended up being a little bit better. Crossover right here, that I kind of went down a little bit, but not a lot, you know. But crossover right there went up a little bit, so it's a little bit more accurate now using those numbers. Use ChatGPT, guys, for some of those numbers. It works well. Just back test a little bit. But if you guys, once you guys back test a little bit, you're like, oh, this number that's a little bit higher. Maybe it does smooth it out a little bit more. All right, so it looks a little bit better now. Daily chart here, still a little bit too many crossovers for me, so I might even adjust this a little bit higher. Like, let's actually go up to 30. Let's go to 10 here, and maybe let's pop this up to 20 now. Better. Less crosses at this point. You can fiddle around with it a little bit more, and I would only use a set of numbers on SPY unless I have another idea for another stock. But let's see right here, that crossover, a little bit of a move here, not too crazy. This one a little bit better. This one not so good. This one right here, a little bit better, and that one right there, a little more accurate. Okay. Really, this one is more of a divergence play here, but this is a pretty long-term one, isn't it? Okay, but you get the point here. I'm more of a weekly chart guy, you guys know, so I would consider this a little bit better for there. Or, no, I changed it off the weekly chart to fit the daily chart, so forget about what it looks like now. But you get the point there. You're seeing everything kind of flip as we speak. Now, I don't pretend to be some type of all-knowing expert when it comes to this type of stuff. But from what I've seen on CNBC, Fox Business, and Bloomberg, and whatever, they seem to believe this is really that sweet spot to be buying. You know, like a 5%, 6% correction, or around 5-6%, depending on what assets you guys are looking at. So, and even from a technical aspect, you guys can see there's a small support level right there. I'm a little bit over pessimistic, even when I don't need to be sometimes, and you guys know that. But yeah, I'm a little bit more concerned about not a crash, but a little bit more of a sustained pullback that kind of brings us back down to more moderate levels. If you're looking for maybe a flash point, if you will, because I know a lot of times we're looking at trend lines. Maybe if you just want to look at some of those hard support levels, I would say this might just be one that makes it easy, right? $431. We're at 436, plenty far away from it. But if we break down below that, that also means we're breaking back down below the 20-week moving average. It means we're breaking down below the trend line right here. And then if you go over to the daily chart, it means we're most likely at that point going to have a death cross, which is not a good sign. And if you go over here to the monthly chart, which again is not the most important thing, this is something we talked about. How long ago did we talk about this? I think we talked. Yeah, we haven't been talking about the monthly moving averages on the stock market, which I think is more important than crypto monthly moving averages. But you can see that we're kind of in this weird crisis point where there's an opportunity for us to have a death cross here on the SPY, the Nasdaq, and a lot of other things. Nasdaq not as much, right? But you see how that death cross is kind of there looming. We don't really have them to, like, not even during COVID did we have a death cross. Let me get out of there you go. There we are. Death crosses only occur during very, very bad times. You can see 2008, it happened after the big crash. So that gives us a little bit of maybe happiness right here. This is the Nasdaq though. But we're very close to a death cross here. That only happens in the worst of circumstances. If you felt the way this economy is moving so far this year, it hasn't been the worst of circumstances. That was more of something we saw last year. But the Dow, we're kind of just really close to it. Now, let's see the SPY right here. We're very close to it. I know you can see that breakout above the 20-month moving average, how much of a pop we had after that. Boom right there. Yep, let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. It is just something on my mind, but nothing I would say to cause too much fear. We have that support level again. I can just pop it right there for you. If we start breaking down below that, then my concerns start to be, whoa, I'm going to have to start looking very hardly if I actually want to buy stuff right now. And then, oh my God, we might actually have a serious breakdown here where, again, we don't break down below here perhaps, but we come all the way back down here to 396 and we break down below 400. That could lead us to next year having a really bad time. But again, the economy would have to justify that move down. And so far, the economy doesn't justify that move down, which is why I'm not like, oh my God, head for the hills. But why I am a little bit more of like, I could see a little bit more of an extended pullback over the next few weeks. Doesn't have to all happen tomorrow, the rest of this week, or even next week. Just a little bit more of an extended pullback. Hopefully they answered your question. I kind of just like did a deep dive into a whole bunch of other stuff here. There you go. And hey, Ghost, happy to see you back. Oh, what's right here? And hey, Marcus, if you're seeing a little bit of a discrepancy between the pound versus Dogecoin and the dollar versus Dogecoin, or yeah, it could just be because the Doge to British pound is probably, it's just different amount than what you're looking at as far as the dollar versus Dogecoin here. I can try to figure out here though. GBP. What? 21 Doge. Oh, I hate when it gets. Let's see. Why is it giving me that number like that? It acts like it's 1,000 or whatever millions. Let's see if Coinbase can help me out here. There you go. You know what's really sad about Coinbase? Every time I pay fees, this number goes down. Or it goes up, but you know, the downward way. Those are fees I've paid it for Coinbase. Those are fees. It's tragic. But what is this? Let me see. Can I see my assets over time? 18 cents. Wow, down to 14 cents. Oh my God, it's a massacre. But yeah, it shows how much you lose in fees. It's really sad. Sad. But yeah, I don't. Oh, let me just go back over here very fast. So that's 21 Doge, dollar to Doge. 60.52. That makes sense since I think the pound has been gaining against the dollar for quite some time. If I go over here to my watch list, we should have pound to USD. Let's go to the weekly chart. Yeah, pound's been building back up since they had a catastrophic drop last year. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, if on Binance you're going from the pound to Dogecoin, that could just be because we had a crazy day today and there's a little more volatility and the price hasn't gone back to matching up. Happens a lot on different exchanges. And if that's the case, it's pound to pound, you know, pound to Dogecoin on both Binance and pound to Dogecoin on your maybe on like something I don't know the actual other place where you're seeing it, but maybe it's on trading or something like that. It's probably just because there's been so much volatility, the prices are just a little bit off. We see it. I think the biggest or largest example we've seen of this happen is back in the 2020 bull market, 2021 bull market, where we saw compound like a few $100s more on Robinhood than where it was everywhere else, to the point where everybody just bought on Robinhood and sold it really fast because they knew it was going to crash back down to the rest of the world's prices, specifically Binance and KuCoin, which are the behemoths back in the day. They still are behemoths. But shouldn't be any problem. Hopefully over the next few hours, really, it should balance back out, unless for whatever reason you see Bitcoin really start dropping off again, and then in which case you might see a little bit more of there might be a little bit more of a concern there. But again, eventually it is going to balance back out. And I know we were talking about this a few minutes ago, but you could already see Bitcoin trying to come back down just a little bit more here. Hopefully it's not too much of a problem, but like we talked about the stock market, if we do see that little bit more of a pullback on the stock market, guys, you may see Bitcoin do that as well. But I'm going to hold off on being more certain or appearing more certain about that. And that's only because we've seen a little bit more of a divergence between Bitcoin's price action and the stock market's price action. Bitcoin has been going up a little bit, but not as much as the stock market. The stock market has been the place to be. and crypto has been the place to be on certain days, but we're still in this very long channel. It's just been the worst thing ever because I think, as all of us that love crypto trading know, we like to see some volatility, but we like to have consistent volatility. So you can trade, you can do this, but there's always something to do. And over the last few weeks, it's been kind of, there's something to do here, wait a while, something to do there, and you got to scalp a little bit more. Maybe not as many day trades, maybe not as many swing trades as you guys might like, but that's just kind of the way that the cookie crumbles, so to speak. You heard China's having deflation happening. Yeah, they are having deflation. Their economy over there is in kind of a crisis point. Not like riot crisis, but again, they're not even giving their economic data, all of their economic data, to the whole world because they're kind of afraid of what's happening right now, where they have double-digit unemployment for their youth. And they don't even have as many kids as they're supposed to right now because they had the one kid policy for so long, one child policy, I think that's what it's called, for so long. I can't even pretend to know exactly what's happening with them right now, but it definitely is concerning, especially when you have the Evergrande bankruptcy today from China over in Manhattan. You have the shadow bank in China missing payments. For a shadow bank to miss payments is absolutely insane. For protests to be happening because they're missing payments is even wilder. So much so that the police had to go in to the bank and try to figure out what the heck is going on. But if banks in China are about to start going down, that's a financial sector. We're all intertwined. Remember, when America's market freaked out during the 2008 financial crisis, we infected Europe, we infected China, we infected Mexico, we infected Canada. We infected the world. That's because everybody wants to have their debt, their money, their influence over here. And so when our system gets attacked and crashes, not attacked, but just crashes, the ripples go everywhere. And hey, Larry, Oaktree is a bad economy, stagnant economy play. That sounds like a place to be right now, especially with all this chaos going around with China. This China stuff is really concerning to me. I'll go to the 1 minute chart. I want to actually see some, there we go. Actually see something happening here. I hate when it's so thin because of all the vultures that happened a while ago. See. Yeah, no worries, I'm always happy to help you guys out. What's right here? Okay. But guys, we should be good now. It's been nice streaming with you guys for a little bit of time. I've been streaming for 1 hour and 42 minutes. No wonder I'm freaking tired. Yowza. Okay, well guys, thanks for joining me today. I will see you guys a little bit later. If you guys haven't watched the whole stream, I encourage you guys to do so. I'll make some videos about it over soon. And get ready for more members videos. I know I'm kind of stretched thin this week because of the babysitting and stuff like that while my family's off in Hawaii. But I do want to reiterate, I know a lot of you guys have been using my Fairdesk link or my other links. If you guys use my Fairdesk link and you guys are a member, I'm going to give you guys a 20% rebate on you guys' trade. So that means if you guys accumulate, for whatever reason, $100 in fees, then you get $20 back. But if you guys only have like $1 in fees for the day, that happens sometimes, you guys are going to get 20 cents back, okay? So I think that's really cool. Keeps you guys maybe trading, which I think is what the exchange really wants here, is more volume, like a business like any other. But just keep your eye out because right now I don't think Bitcoin's done dropping. This is the beginning of a breakdown, and we know how breakdowns kind of mess up. But I think if you guys are looking to make some money, usually scalping and day trading are going to be the best thing for you. Be careful because I had some bad trades today, and so take it easy and just be careful with it, okay? And